You're watching Taste the Victory.
Hey everybody, it's time to get ready for the X4 format with Ravemon. Before we get started, special thank you to Jambo who helped me build this list and explain how it works as I get ready to transition to the X4 format. Ravemon is from Digimon Sabers. This is a deck focused on deleting itself and gaining value off of that deletion, either by then deleting your opponent's Digimon of the same or lower levels, or trashing cards from their hand and gaining memory. It's a really fun deck with an interesting mechanic that we haven't seen supported too well because, as we know, hand discarding is not too impactful in Digimon with how big our hands could get, but this deck can trash a lot pretty quickly, so it aims to support the strategy a little better than Digimon decks have traditionally in the past. Let's look at our boss monster and see how we're going to support that. First up is Ravemon. He is a purple level 6 that digivolves for 3 from a purple level 5, 11,000 DP. He has jamming, so he's pretty much not going to die to anything in battle traditionally. And then end of attack, by deleting this Digimon that had a Digivolution card with Bird or Avian and one of its traits, play one Ravemon from your trash at the end of your opponent's turn without paying its memory cost. On deletion, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, your opponent trashes 1 card in their hand. Then if they have 7 or less cards in their hand, your opponent adds the top card of the security stack to their hand. So this, paired with some inheritables, lets it trash a lot of cards from your opponent's hand. Then you even get to trash on your opponent's security card safely, setting up for another 8 or more card in hand to delete it again. And then it even has an effect to delete itself to trigger all of its effects and its inheritables at the end of its attack. So let's go ahead and see how we support this deck. First up are our eggs. We have 4 of the Pinamon because this egg is amazing for this deck. It is on deletion. If this Digimon was deleted other than by battle, gain 1 memory, which is really huge because it pairs with other cards in our deck that have similar effects, meaning we're going to be able to reduce costs a lot and even make some of our Digivolutions free between our Digimon entertainers. So we're maxing this out so we always get to reduce our Digivolution costs when we play into our main strategy of self-deleting, so I like it a lot at 4. You could run maybe a Demi-Miramon egg just to cycle more because it also has a really good on-deletion effect, but I just always want to see Pinamon. Then we move on to our rookies, of which we are running the bare minimum of 12 because we need to fill up a lot of space. First up is Gabumon from all the way back in BT2. He is pretty much the best generic on-deletion rookie. His on-deletion trigger draw 2 and then trash 1 card from your hand, which is huge to cycle and see a lot of pieces that you may be missing if you are bricking or just need that 1 extra piece. And then you get to trash 1 card from your hand and set up your trash, so you can pitch another Ravemon to get set up for its effect to play another one out from end of trash, so really cool effect there. Then we have Tsukaimon, on deletion, inheritable, gain 1 memory. Simple effect, but it's really huge because when paired with our other on deletion, gain 1 memory effects, we could eventually make Ravemon free, so this thing is awesome. We're running it at 4 to make sure we see it. And then we have Falcomon. This is our first in-archetype rookie. It is 3 memory to hard slam, 1000 DP. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and then you get to grab 1 card with Ravemon in its name, or Bird, Avian in its traits, and 1 Keenan card among them to your hand, which is our in-archetype tamer. Then we bottom deck the rest. Inheritable, on deletion, if this card was deleted other than by battle, your opponent trashes 1 card from their hand. And there we start to see the hand trashing effects of this deck. We're going to stack a lot of those to trash eventually 3 or more cards from your opponent's hand in 1 deletion effect. It's awesome. So Falcomon is fantastic. It is a great searcher that grabs you 2 cards, which is always fantastic in a Digimon search. On your first turn, when you're building your first stack, this is usually the card that you're going to want to set up first, because you want to be able to start ripping as many cards as possible from your opponent's hand as early as possible, because that's when it's going to be most impactful. So on your first stack, you're going to want to build up into Falcomon. After that, we move on to our champions. First up, we are starting with Saberdramon, a card traditionally not seen. It is probably the least important of our champion lineup, which is why we're running it at 2 compared to the others. It is simply inheritable retaliation, which is a fantastic effect in a pinch when you need to panic and delete something, but we do need to be able to delete our stuff by effect rather than by battle, you know, by swinging into a giant thing. So we're just going to run it at 2. That's mostly just an emergency removal button. Then we have Devidramon, exact same effect as Tsukaimon, on deletion, gain 1 memory. You are going to get a ton of memory off our deletion effects in this deck with the perfect stack. And if you have the very perfect god stack, you're basically going to gain memory. Like, you get up to 4 in 1 really good stack. I think even maybe more. But yeah, it's really fantastic there. Really good deletion effect. We just want to pair that so we get some good value off of our effects. Then we have Peckmon, which is the in-archetype evolution for this line. 5 memory to hard slam, 5000 DP, 2 digivolve from a purple level 3. When digivolving, if you don't have a Keenan card, play 1 for free if you don't already have one from hand. So that's fantastic to get a free tamer on the field, which is really important to keep up momentum into these new decks in this format. Inheritable, on deletion, if this card was deleted other than by battle, your opponent trashes 1 card from their hand. Again, there's the in-archetype effect that we want to stack to make sure we trash as many cards from your opponent's hand as early as possible. The earlier you get to do it, the more impactful it is, because your opponent is still digging for stuff and maybe doesn't have what they need, or you trash the next card in their evolution line. That's going to round up our level 4 lineup, and we move on to Pumpkinmon, which is starting our level 5 lineup. We have 6 of these level 5s, Pokemon is from all the way back in BT2. It is inheritable on deletion, same thing as Gabumon. Again, we don't really have too many good level 5 on deletion, so it's probably one of the better ones in terms of inheritables. So, you know, more setup, more draw setup for a next turn and get your second stack ready. It is really good now in this deck. Then we have Crowmon, the inner archetype evolution. 3 memory Digivolve from a purple level 4, 7000 DP. When attacking, if you have a purple tamer in play, you may Digivolve this Digimon into a Ravemon from your hand, paying its Digivolution cost. Then, inheritable on deletion, if this card is deleted other than by battle, delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. Which is great to make sure we clear your opponent's board. It's stacked with our other level 6 Digivolution effects. Deletion effects. So Crowmon is really important to be able to swing and get into him a little bit faster when you're attacking, so Crowmon is fantastic and we're running it at 4. Then we have our level 6s, and as you notice, we start off with a spicy little tech here. We have AncientSphinxmon. It digivolves for 5 over a purple level 5, which is kind of expensive, but we have plenty of ways to pay it back with our on-deletion effects and our tamers. It is when digivolving, you may delete one of your Digimon with 10 warriors or hybrid in its traits to delete one of your opponent's Digimon, which is less than or equal to the deleted Digimon's level, and then on deletion, you may play one purple level 4 or lower card with hybrid in its traits from your hand without paying its memory cost. So the reason we are running this is basically just for its when digivolving effect. It is always going to be deleting itself, meaning it's going to be able to delete a level 6 or lower, and then Crowmon will be able to delete a level 5 or lower. So this is a really great pairing. They synergize so well together, making it a really good board clear of even a pretty big field. Even if they have a giant big stack, you force them to use protection or you're deleting multiple things on the field. It's a really nice little tech here. And because it's self-deleting itself, you're going to get all these inheritables off, you're going to get your analog youth off, you're going to draw for your second stack, you're going to get a bunch of memory to not make it fully 5 cost. And then we do have a spicy tech down here that you see as well to make it even cheaper. So AncientSphinxmon is a really cool little tech choice there. You could maybe consider tossing in a hybrid here to get that float effect, or even just to have hybrid for game. Maybe cut an analog youth or Ame-no-Ohabari or something like that. But this is what we're going with for now. The main important thing for Sphinxmon is the fact that you delete huge stuff with it, not so much the float in this deck. We went over why Ravemon is fantastic. Then we have our level 7, which is ShineGreymon Ruin Mode. This card is just really insane. It's a seriously just really good generic card. It is 5 Digivolve from a purple or yellow level 6, which is expensive, but we have plenty of ways to reduce it, and we do have win rate 60%, 15,000 DP, when Digivolving on deletion. All of your opponent's Digimon get minus 5,000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn, which is gigantic, huge board clear. Anything coming in is going to get nuked. It's amazing. End of attack, delete this Digimon, delete one of your opponent's Digimon, and recover your +1 deck. Then if you have a tamer in play, hatch one Digi card to an empty space in your breeding area, so you can start climbing and rebuilding right away. This is an awesome, fantastic card right here. This deletes anything. It's going to clear a board or delete a huge stack. It gets to recover yourself, and you get to start building a second stack right away with the Digi-Egg hatch if you didn't already have one set up. It's a really good card in a pinch that gives you more defensive options in the early and mid game. Then we have our option lineup. We're moving on to our tamers and options. We have, first off, Tarnished Heroes. 3 memory. You could play it ignoring the color if you have a green Digimon. That's more for the Alliance deck. We really don't care about that part of the effect. We care for the other parts, which is main, delete when your opponent's level 3 Digimon, then place this card in your battle area. Main, delay. Your opponent may trash one extra card from their hand. If they don't, gain 2 memory. This pops any level 3 floodgate pretty easily, so that's really good to make sure we always gain our memory. Really good efficient popping there with only 3 memory, and then later you can delay it to either make your opponent trash another card in hand or gain back 2 memory. So either way, this is fantastic because you're already ripping so many cards out of your hand. Another additional one is awesome, especially if that was like a memory boost they needed to see a piece that they're missing or something like that. Fantastic. And if not, you gain 2 memory and get to extend your turn. Really nice card there. It's funny. It's not crazy good, so we're just running it at 1 as a funny tech choice. Then we have Ame-no-Ohabari. 4 memory, main, by deleting one of your Digimon in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a level less than or equal to the deleted Digimon's level. If you delete a Digimon card with Ravemon and its name in play, play 1 Ravemon for your trash at the end of your opponent's turn without paying its memory cost. And security effect, delete one of your opponent's Digimon at the lowest level. Awesome, good removal, very efficient removal, because if Ravemon is out, you only have to pay 4 for this, and then you get to play another one out at the end of your opponent's turn, so that's fantastic because it floats. And then if he has any good on deletion effects, it becomes even cheaper. Really great efficient removal on this card. Then we have Memory Boost. Needless to say, it's a really good consistency searcher that also extends your plays. Win rate 60%. This is a card we haven't seen in a while, but if you have a tamer in play, you may use this option card ignoring its color requirements. Main, the next time when your Digimon digivolves this turn, you may trash 1 card from your hand of the same color as the digivolving Digimon to reduce the memory cost of Digivolution by 4. And security just adds it to your hand. Fantastic to make a lot of our Digivolutions cheap, free, and sometimes even pay it back with all the deletion effects. It's a clutch little one of. Keenan is our in-archetype tamer, which we've seen referred to on Peckmon. It is 4 memory. It is a memory tamer, which is fantastic to make sure you're always guaranteed 3 memory for your plays. All it turns when your purple Digimon with Ravemon and its name or bird or avian in one of its traits is deleted. By suspending this tamer, draw 1. If that Digimon is deleted by an effect, gain 1 memory. So you get to gain a ton of memory. If you have like the perfect god stack, this guy out, Analog Youth, the inheritable effects, I swear you get like 5 memory back off of a deletion effect, which is crazy. You just get a whole second turn if you get the god stack. But I mean, that is with your god stack. So I think at that point you deserve to win if you saw every piece like that in the ideal order. But yeah, fantastic tamer. Lets you set up, lets you extend, draw, gain memory. It's a fantastic in-archetype tamer. All that on top of being a memory tamer is huge. And finally, we're going to end off with 4 Analog Youth. 4 because it's just a great efficient searcher. Multiple of this out gains you so much memory and extends turns. It's awesome. 2 memory. On play, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card remaining to your hand. Trash the remaining cards. So this searches any Digimon in your deck that you want to see. All turns when one of your level 5 or lower Digimon with Digivolution cards is deleted, you may suspend this tamer. If you do, gain 1 memory, then hatch 1 Digivoltion card to an empty space in your breeding area. Fantastic memory gains to make sure that you are extending plays and reducing costs on deletion effects. So that is going to be the list. This is Ravemon. You're aiming to climb up as fast as you can and then delete yourself, gain back memory, delete your opponent's Digimon, trash cards in hand, and just basically gain a bunch of advantage off of your self-deleting effects to extend your turns. Hand discarding has traditionally never been good in this game because like it's a lot to set up and you draw so much. But I think like the fact that Ravemon can start doing a very decent amount of it very early, like 3 early game is huge. With the right stack, you could go into this on turn 3 and start trashing up to 3 cards. So this is awesome. So I like it a lot. It's a really cool deck to play around with. It's one of the more unique decks we've seen introduced recently. So I think this is a ton of fun. I'm really thankful to Jambo for showing it to me, and I hope you guys are enjoying this profile as well. Let me know how you guys are building Ravemon. I'll see you guys in the next video, and until then, remember to stay hungry until you get a taste of victory.